Do you feel the fan support from Edmonton and all the Alberta area still?
Huge.
Huge.
Because there's such a lack of Alberta bands and Edmonton bands in the mainstream and being played, you know, on the radio, on much music. And Alberta as a whole is a very proud region, I find.
Yeah.
And not even just for music, like music, athletes, all kinds of arts. They go out of their way to support people who are from there, and they're extremely proud of that. So we've felt that our entire 10 years as a band. You know, we've always got that preferential treatment over there, and I think we always will, and that's a cool feeling, just because you know you're doing well when you're making everyone back home proud, right?
Yeah. So what are some things that you guys do to entertain yourself when you're on tour?
Ooh, well, you know what? They call us old-fashioned. You know, I know every band these days are, you know, they seem to be stuck on their laptops and their iPods, and they're kind of to themselves. But like we're all best friends. You know, we still find a lot of fun in you know, talking while we're driving and complaining about how hungover we are from the night before partying, and you know, it's weird. Not much has changed over the 10 years, even though, like, you know, 10 years ago we weren't touring, and you know, we were a relatively unknown band, and now that all that's changed, I don't think we've changed, and I'm happy about that, because I see a lot of other bands and everyone is just very inclusive, and it just doesn't seem like they're having as much fun as they would be if they were just enjoying each other and the experience, which has never been lost on us. So it keeps it exciting, I guess.
Yeah. So you've been on tour with a lot of other bands, like Uni at Six.
Yeah.
Which bands were some of your favorites to go on tour with?
Well, that's a good question. You know, one of our favorite bands to go on tour with is a band called Living with Lions, who we've been friends with for almost as long as we've been a band. They were one of the first bands we toured with, and we've always just been close friends with them. So they would probably be a quick answer. Let me think here. You know, actually, one of the bands who we're closest with is Headley, and I know our music doesn't really, you know, match up together, but you know, like
there's still the Canadian bond.
That's a beautiful thing about, you know, musicians who are in it for the right reasons. You can respect what someone's doing, even though you don't want to do it, or maybe it's not like your first preference for music. Yeah. And all the guys in that band are great guys, and it's cool to just, you know, like I said, and we're cool. We're friends with a lot of bands who sound a lot different than us, and I think you know, that's refreshing. But the Union 6 guys were great too, and the Day to Remember guys, the Silverstein guys, they were, they're just, it's fun being able to go tour all these places now, and each tour you have, you know, this new group of friends, and so now every time you go through their city, you know, you get excited to see them. Yeah,
you get a lot of different experiences and things. What's one thing that you've learned from other bands that you've toured with?
I think we learned really quickly what it means to be a professional opening band on a tour, which is, it's a big transition step for a lot of young bands, because I don't think you realize when you start doing local shows, I think there's kind of a laid-back atmosphere, but when you get on a tour, it's business. You have a set time, you don't go a minute over that set time, you don't get in the way of the headliner, you know, you basically try to, you know, not be there as much as you can, and you don't want to get away in the, you know, you're the small part of the package. Yeah. And it's really important as an opening band to respect you know, the bands build higher than you, and always just work quickly, and like I said, we got that pretty quick, and so I think you know, that bode well for us, because you know, there's a lot of bands, and we haven't so much encountered them on our tours, but there's a lot of bands I hear horror stories about who they get it off on the wrong foot on a tour because they're an opening band, and they don't act like they should, and you know, your first impression is going to stick with people, and maybe that's the difference between not getting an opportunity the next time it rolls around. Yeah.
So if you could pick any bands to tour with, even if they're alive, broken up, anything, who would you make for your dream tour?
Oh, dream tour. Okay, well, I'll throw Living with Lions in there, just so you know, we had our good friendship connection. That's a tough one. I think the guys would be. I think the guys would be okay if I threw Jimmy Eat World in there, because you know, it's a band that we all looked up to, and we have a lot of comparable fans who listen to the same music, so it would be a good exposure for us, for some people who perhaps haven't seen us but would, you know, be into our music. And I'll make Tom Petty the headliner, just because
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to watch Tom Petty
Oh,
every
I
single
know.
night?
It'd be
So
a great show.
that'd be a hell of a tour. I'd be happily second of 4 on that tour. No complaints from me.
So who would you say are some of your musical idols?
Idols. You know, that's a tough one for me because, truth be told, I didn't, get into the band culture until more or less till this band started. Guys like Sandy and Craig who were raised on punk and metal. They had those key bands that kind of introduced them to things like like Strung Out or Iron Maiden. Whereas with me, I don't know. I don't have that star mystique in certain bands or certain artists. I just respect bands who keep doing it for the right reasons and keep writing their own music and just playing a live show that isn't production. It's them playing their instruments and simple things like that. Just fire me up, no matter how big or small the artist is. So I know that's kind of walking around the answer, but that's probably the truth of it all. So that's probably the best.
So Better Off just got released a little while ago.
Yep.
Do you feel like your music has changed a lot since your first few CDs?
I don't know if the genre has changed. I mean, I laugh at people and sometimes their perception of our records. People say that some of our records are harder than other ones, and really, from my probably biased point of view, all of our records have been really diverse, and all of them have hard songs, and all of them have poppy songs, and all of them have slow songs, and all of them have fast songs. And because different records had certain songs released as the singles, maybe people's perceptions changed. But I feel like when you listen to all 3 albums, you're like, yeah, this is the same band. But I mean, Better Off is undoubtedly our best record because the one intangible that has kind of stepped up each record is, you can't replace the years of experience writing with the same group of guys and just becoming better songwriters song by song. And the songs on Better Off to me are the strongest songs we've ever done. And I was really proud of the production of the record because we made a really conscious effort to make sure that it sounded like we sound live. And I will acknowledge a very valid criticism of our hometown record, that people think that they love the songs, but they don't feel like it sounds like those songs as we play them live. When we play them live, they sound a lot more rock, a lot heavier, and I get that. And that's probably a learning mistake that we made along the way. But I'm proud of those songs, and I'm proud of the fact that we were able to make a better record that really encompasses what we sound like live.
Oh yeah, for sure. So what's next for the band, do you think?
Well, we've been on tour for 3 months. I get to go home, sleep in my own bed for a bit, and then we're right back at it, off to Warped Tour. And after that, and probably before that as well, we're going to start writing a 4th record because, we don't have plans of slowing down. For us, the international stuff is really starting to take off for us. And I almost have to pinch myself because 10 years into it, this Canadian tour so far has been the best headline tour we've ever done in this country. And that's crazy because I feel like these days bands are here and gone in 1 single or 1 record. And 10 years later to feel like it's getting better and better still, it's a good feeling, and then hopefully a 4th record comes and it keeps growing.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Cool.